It seems as though they've moved on. Which is what you wanted, of course.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Door. Happy almost birthday, Daddy. Christ, look at you. Painted up like a Dutch whore. Here, these are dead, you're dead. Lots in common, much to discuss. Well, we've gone very rural here. You're going to hate it. Well, tough tits. Oh, stop looking at me like that. I'm fine. I'm better than fine, actually. I just, well, I haven't been sleeping well, that's all. And happens to be a terrific idea, land reform. Yeah, it's not weak or boring. You're wrong. Just because it isn't big enough for you. You and your Faban annexation pipe dreams, delusional. This is the real world, Daddy. Grow up. And you're wrong about Herbert, too. Yeah. I'm fully in control of that situation. Yes, I am. What's the matter? Do you feel threatened? Because he's a real man. You're a dried-up old cricket with teensy little balls. Oh, you're jealous? Is that it? Is that why you're trying to drive me mad like Mummy? Well, it won't work. I am father inoculated. I spit you out. I refuse you. I reject you as you are fucking pathetic. No, I'm sorry. Sorry, no, sorry. Let's just forget about it, shall we, please? Yeah, I don't want to spoil your big day tomorrow. Sorry. Sorry, Daddy.
Warm up, Elena. Come on.
Right, God.
Shoulders back. Come on, from the hips, from the hips. Here. Here. What is it?
Nothing. I'm just, I'm fine. I'm just a bit tired, that's all.
A bit tired.
I was just talking to Daddy earlier. And, well, I just was thinking, is it right, land reform? Is it what we need? No, it is. It is. I think it is. Yes, I don't want the rope going slack, that's all. Just... No, I do think it will work. Yes, I do like it. No, what are you doing? God, what?
Come here.
What?
Come here. Get on the floor. Come on, get down. Next to the bed. Closer to the vent.
No,
Come on, no, right next to it. Close,
no.
right next to it. Come on, breathe. Come on, breathe your fucking poison! Come on! Elena, you cannot do it. Because you are not cured. You are still sick in the head. It's not inside these walls. It's inside you. Let it out. Really, let it out. Tell me everything. What are you hiding? Tell me everything.
Oh, God. Everything. Oh, well, fuck me, I don't know. Where would I begin? It's everywhere. There's... Right. Slush funds in Belize, State Bank, the holding company. Fucking $1 billion or more in assets. My name, Nikki's name, through our partners, thousands of fucking strings of money purloined from local businesses, farms, pension funds, just shit I can't ever unravel. It's just, I have made such a fucking mess. I'm sorry. Ouch.
Poetry has always been the lifeblood of any thriving civil society. And with the blessed help of our government, these poetry centres shall be the fountains from which our national spirit might quaff, if I may say poetically. What is it?
What the fuck happened?
She's all right.
Well, Elena, what happened?
Oh, thank you, Joe. Look, I'm fine. This is ridiculous. We were exercising and overdid it.
This is unacceptable, Corporal. You can't push her like this. She hasn't been eating well.
She's been eating well for the first time in her life.
Look, I'm fine. I just slipped. It's that gym floor, Nikki. It's like a fucking dolphin's back.
Okay, fetch Agnes. We're getting the Chancellor a proper dinner.
No, you're not.
Now, listen, Corporal, I've been very patient with your process these past few months, and I believe we've accommodated each other with as little friction as can be expected under the circumstances. But now my wife's health and happiness have been jeopardized.
No, she's happy and she's healthy. The only one who is not is you.
I beg your pardon.
Oh, just stop it, you two. If my energy is low, it's because I'm not sleeping.
Not sleeping? You're a house cat on opium, darling.
She's not sleeping well.
It's true. It's your twitching, Nikki. It's your hypnic jerks. Well, how can I sleep with all that foot jiggling?
Well, why didn't you say so?
I'm sorry. It's just, well, we've had a little chat, and perhaps you and I ought to try a night apart.
What do you mean?
I just need to regulate, Nikki.
I don't understand. Is this just for tonight?
Yeah, just for tonight. Just a night, or a few.
And this is your idea or his idea?
It's our idea.
No, it's Herbert's suggestion, which I agree with.
Pardon me, madam, how can I help?
Hello, Agnes. You would like to know how you can help?
Yes, Corporal, if you please.
Yes, I do, please. I please to fucking hang you out that window by your ankles.
What is it that's your concern, sir?
Eleanor nearly died sliding on that ice rink you call a gym.
Herbert, please,
No, it's all right, madam. Corporal, I can assure you that the gymnasium, and indeed every inch of this palace, has been maintained to the standard to which it's always been maintained, which is to say the very highest.
You harm her again, we send you to the zoo as Lionfoot. Do you understand?
Yes, Corporal. I think we understand each other quite well.
Toi, tu laisses faire ça?
Let out! Oh, God, out, everyone, please. I'm getting an early night.
All right, everyone, eyes up. Eyes up. Good morning. Madam and Corporal Zubak have asked that the menu for Joseph's birthday dinner include folk cuisine.
Our friend diazepam might do you good. Ease the pain.
No, Nikki, Herbert's given me a tincture thingy.
And that's working, is it?
Stop it.
I'll wait for you downstairs.
Who the fuck are all these people?
I thought it had to be a birthday party with real people, not some fancy fucks in fine China, so I took the liberty of inviting some of our people from the countryside.
It's a great opportunity.
Opportunity?
Yes, you know, to tell them
Tell them what?
what you told me about the money.
To tell them?
Yes, you don't have to tell details. You just tell them you made mistakes, that you took from them, and clean your conscience.
No.
Why not?
I don't think I'll be doing that.
Why not?
Well, do you know, it's not really that sort of occasion, is it? No, it's more of a celebration. Yes, that's it.
Elena.
Let's sit down.
Welcome. I'm so thrilled you are all here. Because you are the real people. And that's what my father would have wanted. As for you, birthday boy, 83 today. Congratulations. Daddy, you and I both know that you are still very much here with me. And so happy birthday to Daddy, and many more. And I bless you all for joining us.
Hello, everyone. I'm not really good at speeches, but my people had a toast. You may build it as tall as you want, but you build it from our earth. Our earth, yes. And I would like to add, we would like to add, we are terribly sorry for everything that has been taken away from you. Your toil, your hope, your money.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Darcy. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday, Daddy. Now, listen, I know I said some things yesterday that weren't very kind, and I just...
Shut your fucking mouth.
Sorry,
Let's stop apologizing, girl.
I will.
These hogs may call you Chancellor, but I know who you really are.
Tell me who I really am.
A vapid, feckless political whore with no principles. A comic figure, bereft of vision, easily ruled. All tits and no spine. Like your mother.
Yes, I know.
Oh God, can't you speak properly?
No, stop saying that. I'm trying, Daddy.
You always just lie back and take it, don't you? That's why the Americans loved you. Are you going to take it from him? He has you sucking his cock, doesn't he? Answer, you ugly bitch. Pathetic. Listen to me. Be bold. For once in your hollow little life. Seize the mantle of history.
Yes, I'll try. I'll try, promise. Promise, Daddy.
And yeah, it feels like that if some of the people that worked in these institutions just got better at their public communication or public speaking or whatever, or were just more blood sports hungry, it would be more effective for them to come out and do it. You know?
Yeah. I mean, I think the general attitude is just, oh, ignore it and it'll go away. But that obviously doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, if you're going to debate Kevin Bass guy, oh man, he's a trip. Yeah, we've talked to him before in Twitter Spaces a couple times, and those have not gone well for him. He gets very triggered very easily, at least in that setting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if he would be more composed in a one-on-one situation.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
I'll just make sure if I'm well enough prepared, then yeah.
Yeah.
What about the reputable doctors? They all spouting misinformation as well. I don't know why you guys cite authority when it agrees with you. It's so fucking retarded. Like, you guys will find 10 random fuck retard doctors who happen to agree with your point, and then if I can show you 100,000 on the other side, it's not good enough for you. So if you're going to appeal to the authority of a doctor, then why not appeal to the authority of doctor consensus? If you're going to appeal to the authority of a researcher, why not appeal to the authority of research consensus? When you pick and choose, you're literally committing one of the gravest sins of scientific consensus in the world. Like, oh, well, there's 100 experiments that agree with you, but there's one that agrees with me. Like, confidence intervals aren't measured in 100%. It's like, it's just such a stupid way of approaching any of the conversation. Yeah. And also, past whoever you're citing, you just look at fundamentally like the claims that they're making too. But I don't know. Yeah. Ugh.
No, yeah, that's totally right. I mean, these people, the person, whoever's saying that, I guarantee they're like, I know exactly who they're talking about.
Robert Malone and these other fucking
Robert Malone, McCullough, and like Peter McCullough. I don't understand why anyone takes him seriously. I mean, he's a guy who literally started selling supplements that he claims are going to protect you against spike protein. And then he realized that most of his audience is anti-vax. So he made up this whole story about how the vaccinated are shedding spike protein and you need to protect yourself against them. And he marketed his supplements for that purpose. These supplements have never been tested, never been put through traditional trials or any form of scientific testing. Like, he just says, take this, it'll protect you against spike.
Yeah.
even if you're unvaccinated.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
There's no consistency on any of it, right? Like nobody wanted the mRNA vaccines because it was experimental technology that was only emergency use authorized, but they like went crazy for the monoclonal antibodies because Joe Rogan talked favorably about them. Like there's absolutely no consistency on what people supported or not. So whatever.
That was always so weird to me. I'm like, I don't understand how Joe is sitting there on his show pushing this idea, like, or believing the idea, like, oh, they had to suppress treatments like ivermectin so that the vaccine could come along. And it's like, dude, you like were booty clapping for monoclonal antibodies, and those cost like tens of thousands of dollars a dose.
Damn.
So good on you for supporting big pharma and getting something totally wrong, because we had early treatments. It just wasn't enough. Like we needed more solutions.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I might shoot you general questions I have. I'm probably have to put together a little doc just so that I can have like studies and shit on hand.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, fuck. Was there anything else in that conversation you remember, or anything I said that I could have been clear on, or anything incorrect about, or?
To be honest, I mostly was like just bewildered by Jordan Peterson because he was unhinged in that conversation.
Yeah, he really and the C16 shit. I think just rotted the fuck out of his mind. Yeah. And the shamelessness. But bro, when I go into all of these debates, I'm so fucking scared of saying something stupid or retarded where it's like, oh God, I just got caught. I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. For him to like so accurately and with such conviction like scream at me the like, what about the Bears? And I'm like, oh God, I would kill myself if I made a mistake like this and got caught having no fucking idea what I'm talking about. Like, oh God, yeah, it's just so frustrating because you have to run down so many claims. Oh yeah, and he was talking about like the 20% excess deaths in Europe, which I went and I looked up afterwards, and apparently it's all of these countries are like below 10%, but there is like some excess death, but there's like a variety of different explanations for it. But the idea that it's just like millions and millions of people dying of vaccines, I think that's another one that Weinstein, Brett, is pushing there's been 13 million deaths worldwide due to the COVID vaccines or some shit because of some dumb fucking guy study. Yeah. Ugh.
Yep. I mean, the excess deaths thing is just he was totally unhinged about that, and the easiest way to like visualize that is if you just compare like cumulative excess deaths since 2021 and look at the least vaccinated countries in Europe versus the most vaccinated countries. Like on the most vaccinated end, it's countries like Sweden and Denmark, and they're literally having the lowest cumulative excess deaths since 2021. And on the other end, it's countries like Bulgaria, which have the lowest vaccination rates and the highest excess deaths.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I think Jordan Peterson probably watched like some John Campbell videos on YouTube. Oh
God. Yeah.
And just is repeating them because he was totally lost.
Oh, he is 100%. Because when I started YouTubing a lot of the claims he was making, that's usually the first stop. I was like, oh, okay. Because like with conservatives, if you want to prepare for a debate, usually you just have to try to find like, well, who's the leading conspiratard spreader? And you find that guy and you just watch it, and that will be like a blueprint for your entire conversation. It's like a cheat sheet for the conversation. And yeah, when I started looking it up, it was a lot of John Campbell videos saying a lot of the shit that he was saying about all the excess deaths and everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, the thing that Brett Weinstein said is absolutely insane too, because the source that he used to call that a credible number on how many people the COVID vaccines killed, it's from a guy who, number one, doesn't think that any viruses exist or cause disease, which is okay, like batshit. But the way he came to that number is he just looked at all the excess deaths from 2021 onward, assumed that COVID doesn't exist, and just attributed all the excess deaths to
the
vaccines.
Okay.
Like that's literally all he did. It's crazy. And people just kind of ran with it.
Nice. I've seen the thing that he was referencing. I think I saw a couple of teardowns of it. Like I saw that there were posts about it. I just didn't read through it, but yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that's pretty much all there is to it.
Okay. I'm trying to think. Oh, yeah. Here's random questions. Do you have any idea if viral load impacts your likelihood of transmission? Are there studies on that? Like if you've got a high viral load versus a low viral load, or like you're asymptomatic versus symptomatic, do you know if the transmitting rate is still the same, or is it higher if you got a higher viral load or you're symptomatic, or has that been studied at all?
As far as I know, for SARS-CoV-2, it's not well defined. It's going to vary by virus. Like sometimes, for instance, like pox virus diseases, like smallpox, monkeypox, even viruses like herpes. Those viruses are mostly going to shed when you have like open sores.
Yeah.
But for respiratory viruses, it really depends. Viral load definitely is going to play a factor in it, but there's a lot of other factors too. Like you can still shed respiratory viruses while you're pre-symptomatic or asymptomatic, and even for a period while you have symptoms. So it depends on the virus, and I'm not aware offhand of any convincing data that says like, okay, we can measure this viral load in a person and that correlates to their likelihood of spreading it onto others. That stuff's generally pretty hard to study.
Yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. All right. I'll probably dig around for that, but okay. Well, yeah, I don't have anything else. Chat with you later, or you can DM me if you have anything and you want to bring anything up.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
Yeah, let me know if you end up talking to or scheduling something with that Kevin Bass guy, because I could pretty much tell you what he's going to bring up.
Sure. I'll shoot you the thing that he wants to go over. So yeah, sure.
Okay. All right, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah. Have fun. Be careful.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye. When was the last time non-compliance with a vaccine resulted in not being able to exercise religious liberties? I don't even know what your question is. You're just asking about lockdowns in general? Was that debunk the funk? Yeah. This guy. We watched a few videos of his on...
Hey, I'm Dr. Wilson. I'm a PhD...
Why couldn't he talk to me on this microphone?
And learning about these topics, I suggest we do that. So the choice is yours, Brett. You can pick which one you want to do. And I'll say in about a month, if I don't hear from you, I'll take that as you don't want to talk on a...
People are still so hurt about lockdowns, but forget the first ones were under Trump. Were they though? Under Trump? Wasn't that technically all decided at the state level? I don't remember if the federal government was able to mandate any of that. I think that all happened with I think that all happened at the state level, I believe. Are we reading about Havana syndrome? Yeah, we're doing it, yeah. But the Trump administration encouraged it though? Probably, because they didn't want it to f them in the election. Kind of like how Biden right now is telling Netanyahu, you need to wrap this shit the f up. I don't hurt my election, bitch. One sec. I mean, let's get super authoritarian over a virus with a fraction of a percentage death rate and just act like everything is legit. I can't get there. Okay, but how many months or years will you guys talk about like trans athletes? What's the percentage of people impacted by that? It doesn't matter who locks you down and infringes your rights, like practicing religion. Once you allow that as a society, you give the government the authority to do that in the future without recourse. You figuratively break the glass ceiling. Like, what about my right to not be infected? Do I not have a right to be like safe or free of disease from other people that's like easily preventable? What about my right there? It's not you're acting like it's a one-way street. There are multiple competing rights here that are being impacted. One is your right a negative right to assemble and worship or assemble in a public place. That is a negative right that hopefully the government ensures you. But there's also the negative right to for me to be protected.
G'day, Mark. Masking in Lightroom has got substantially better, like orders of magnitude better than what it once was. But no, I still spend a pretty great deal of time in Photoshop. If you stick around and see, I would probably say, despite how long I'm spending in Lightroom now, getting pretty detailed with everything, I'll still probably spend a longer period of time in Photoshop. Yeah, so no, still do plenty of stuff in Photoshop, as well as Lightroom. But yeah, it's pretty wild how much things have improved on the masking front, on the layer front, as far as Lightroom goes.
And for me to be safe, I have a right to not have you attack me, to not have you shit on me, to not have you blow smoke in my face. I have a right to not have you cough on me or get me sick all the time, right? It's a balance of rights there in a society that you have to figure out what the government is going to protect. It's not just a one-way thing. Like, how much are we going to destroy the rights of these poor, innocent, religious people for no fucking reason? I don't agree with them, but you can stay home if you don't want to get infected. Okay, and if you want to pray, you can do that in your house too, dipshit. What do you think people did before fucking churches? Jews lost their entire fucking country and managed to find ways to pray around the world. You can pray any...
Yeah, correct. So that would be a pretty... something that I would intrinsically do in Photoshop is all of the blending. So this is probably a good example, this photo here, where outside I could probably bring all of it back here in Lightroom, and I'll do like a little bit of that in masks and stuff here in Lightroom, but I'll then go and finesse that in blending luminosity masks in Photoshop. Yeah, I also do like a huge amount of my cleanup of stuff, like spot removal, all of that sort of thing in Photoshop as well, because it's just super time consuming and slow here in Lightroom.
Muslims carry carpets around with them, okay, so they can point towards Mecca and say their prayers every day. You can't do that as a Christian? You can't get on your knees and say a prayer? Christ, get the fuck out of here, dude. I don't agree that your right to be protected can infringe on the public's rights, but who cares about COVID vaccines? This is 3 years old. Yeah, no, it is old. You're right. Those who would sacrifice freedom for safety deserve neither. Okay. We should just have there should be no police and no public protection for anything ever. How base would they? They'd just disband the whole police force. This is the easiest counter in the world. Even Peterson was asking for it. If you don't want to get vaxxed under a workers' vaccine mandate, quit your job and go live in the jungle. True. You think a huge reason why people were mad about the religious thing is because churches couldn't collect money from churchgoers? No, it's just all part of the constellation. That's it. It's just, these are what things that people told them to be mad about, and now they're mad about it. You use Jews for an example, but they literally congregate to pray. They gather in groups. Are you really? If you're a Jew and you've only got 3 people with you, God doesn't listen to you? He only accepts what? Group DMs? Come on. Couldn't the BLM protesters have protested at home too? Were there restrictions on public gatherings outside? If they were protesting in restricted areas or they were gathering in too much, then f them too. My understanding is the outdoor stuff wasn't as big of a deal. Or I don't know if there were restrictions on outdoor gatherings. I don't remember. I think there was for a week or two in the beginning. And I know that because Chris Christie got in big trouble because I think he shut down a beach and was like at it with his wife. Oh yeah, the BLM exceptions, LOL. What did I just, do you see how poisoned your mind is against everything I'm saying? That you can't even, you're not even hearing the words that are coming out of my mouth? What was the exception? If the BLM people were gathering in an area where it's banned or prohibited, then don't. I don't remember the outdoor restrictions. They were restrictions and they shouldn't have done that either. Jesus Christ. Those aren't rights, Destiny. Your argument is fundamentally wrong. What's not rights? You don't think you have rights to not be, like, forcibly infected with diseases? Isn't it literally misdemeanors for giving people STDs if you knowingly have them and you don't tell them? They said racism was a bigger public health crisis than COVID, so they allowed it. Yeah, I saw that letter. That was fucking cringe. You don't have to pray with 10, but it's part of the religion. Some people only pray with 10 people. For example, some people will not go on vacation if there isn't a minyan, quorum of 10 men. Well, time to hop in the Discord group chat. Can you look at vaccine studies prior to 2019? All the ones I'm seeing are showing most major vaccines were about a 90% success rate. Yeah, the ones that we mandated, but flus were never 90%. A flu vaccine was never 90%. I don't think you typically vaccinate children with highly mutating diseases. Usually they were for the solid ones where it's like, well, you'll get this vaccine because it like lasts for either a long time or your entire life, and they're the best ones to give. But like if you got a flu shot as a kid, which some people did, then you would I mean, you can get flu shots as kids, and those were like, what, anywhere from 40 to 70%, I think, depending on the year. Now, in hindsight, would you say the reduction in suffering from lockdowns was worth it regarding the rise in social issues after the lockdowns, i.e. youth issues or depression? I don't remember how many of those things actually came to fruition. I think retrospectively, to say whether or not the lockdowns were worth it, probably not, but we either needed to be more hardcore with the lockdowns or we needed to be way less hardcore with them. But we walked this stupid middle ground where you didn't really do anything effectively at all, and it was just kind of a waste of time. But also evaluating things retrospectively is a lot different than evaluating them at the time with the information we had. The point is that once you give the government the authority to limit your First Amendment rights, you get into risky territory in regards to government overreach. Again, we can't point to any time we as a society allow. There's tons of restrictions on your First Amendment rights. What the fuck are you talking about? There are certain like trade secrets I might not be able to say if I sign an NDA with somebody. I can't plan to do a crime with somebody and speak about that. That's criminalized speech. I can't incite people to riot or violence. I can't go into a movie theater and scream fire. I can't. What do you mean? There's tons of restrictions on lots of First Amendment rights. It just depends. The First Amendment doesn't mean you have the freedom to say anything at any point in time, everywhere you want, no matter what, with no restrictions. There are already restrictions on the First Amendment. Obviously, these restrictions are usually very carefully cut out, and they're very purposefully, but at the time, people were saying it was stupid, that the people at risk were old and fat, but you fascist Democrats didn't care. Old and fat? Hello, that's like 50% of the US population. Right, but you mandated masks for 6-year-olds. Yeah, because I think the idea was you were trying to prevent people from just spreading the disease at all. I don't know at the end of the day if mask mandates for children, or I think closing schools probably wasn't a good idea. Or closing schools isn't a good idea. But you guys you can't even intellectually grapple with that. In your mind, you're not thinking, was closing schools efficacious or not? You're thinking, why did the fascist Democrats lock us out of schools to destroy our freedoms because they hate freedom and they're communists? Like, that's where your mind is. You're not even able to come to the table to have that discussion. And lots of people said that it was a bad idea at the time, but they were called crazy.
No, not at all. Like, not annoyed at all, my dude. Mate, even I've fallen into that trap of adding the artificial warmth, and so I'm a part of that. I'm a part of that group that's actually murdering it. So here, I'll try and show you an example. So I would say this is an example of it not being artificial. This is like an effective use of warmth, but there have been times where I've abused it. Maybe I haven't. That wouldn't be a good example. Yeah, maybe some of these ones in the highlights, in the whites, hypothetically, they really should be sheer white. The walls and ceilings and stuff like that, and it does give it a kind of sad look, I think. And then this is probably a good example, this one, of like maybe not artificial, but I've just gone too hard in the yellow rather than the orange. But you are right, and I think we're starting to see some bounce back in terms of the warming things up. Like if I just pull up Vogue Living here now, if I'd done this a couple of months ago, it would have been quite a few people really leaning into that incredibly warm look. Whereas look, this is a lot of pretty authentic, genuine colours. And so I think it's just, yeah, this is just a pretty realistic crack at authentic colours. This, the latest stuff that I'm seeing. Whereas there was a moment in time not that long ago where everything, maybe not even artificially warm, but everyone was just swinging in that same sort of filmic direction. It really depends. Probably, I sometimes ask for a client's input on where their tastes lie, what sort of influences them, because, you know, you could fall into a trap where I want to do sort of more realistic colours, but they want them quite muted, or the opposite, they want them really bombastic and loud. Man, this is gorgeous. So I do try to get some sort of input, and then sort of also try to lean into what the project might appreciate a little bit. And it just so happened that a huge volume of projects that have been completed in the past 12 months and will continue to get completed in the next 6 to 12 months. We'll have the rendered walls, the bow work, plaster, the micro cements like this. This is a really good example. Actually, this is a whole Venetian plaster advert. So because this has been pretty in vogue, not the magazine, but like the term, like pretty popular, this Venetian plaster look that's sort of in that warmer gamut, that's going to have an overall influence on everyone's white balance and what they're doing, and that sort of thing. So we might sort of start to see things lean away from that if, say, wallpaper becomes incredibly popular, or, you know, what have you. So I think it's a confluence of things, but there's definitely no denying that like any trend becomes a bit of a fad, and then people go too hard in it, and like the arches, like every house being completed in the past 2 years going really aggressive with big arches, and then essentially it loses its impact. You walk into a house with the most incredible arches and it doesn't really set your soul on fire, or you don't even really notice because the past 10 houses that you've walked into, or the past 10 houses you saw in Vogue or Local Project or Architecture Digest all had arches, so it just doesn't have that same impact. Yeah, so there's too many good projects though, isn't there? We are very, very spoiled for how many good projects there are to document.
Crazy. Because Alex is having the same problem. Hold on. I want to ask, let's just ask a question. I'm just curious how many people listen. I'm just curious. I'm not going to preload this at all. I just want to ask a question, okay? Let's say that John John and Andy are here, okay? John and Andy are these two people. And they're looking at a bowl that's turned upside down on a table, okay? Underneath this bowl, there can either be an apple, a banana. Is that with one N each? A grape, or an orange. Okay?
This is some Inception right here, me streaming someone else's stream.
There are limits on our First Amendment rights, but when was the last time we saw the government tell grandma she can't go to church? Mass curfews, or, like, this is never... Where's my selector? John is asked, not for a long period of time, remember that churches / mosques / temples were closed in California and not bars. Is that true? I thought everything was closed in California. I lived in COVID in California. Did they not close any? I thought restaurants and bars got closed too. Is he making it up or?
Yeah, boring. I'll keep editing.
Okay, we've got John, and we've got Andy. Okay. Now, both of these people are asked, what do you think is under the bowl? What do you think is under the bowl? John says, I'm not sure. It's like a 25% chance that it could be an apple, it could be a grape, it could be a banana, it could be an orange. So John doesn't know. 25%. He's not sure. Could be any of these things, all right? Andy looks at it and Andy says, there's an apple under there. Trust me, I know. It's an apple, okay? Andy says it's an apple, all right? John's not sure. He says, I don't know, 25% chance it can be anything. Andy says it's an apple, all right? Here's the question. Do we need to know what's under the bowl to know if to know if Andy or John are making intelligent guesses? Yes, no, not sure. So let me just, one more time. John is guessing 25% it could be any of these four things, and Andy says it's an apple, all right? So my question is do we need to know what's under the bowl to know if Andy or John are making intelligent guesses, all right? Did you see my super chat? Nope. Destiny has to frame COVID as totally random guesses because conservatives were correct about too many things. No, they weren't. Conservatives were you realize like more conservatives died per capita than liberals, right? Even though they technically had less of a reason to because they were even more spread out. Liberals live in cities. You fucking retards actually death culted yourself because you were too stupid to vote by mail for Trump, so your dumb fucking fat loser candidate lost, and then you fucking died like retards because you were too stupid to get fucking vaccinated, more than the liberals did en masse. Like, Okay, I imagine some of these are troll votes. So what, 12, 13% of chat is below, what is it, what would this be, 75 IQ, 80 IQ? I'd say 80% of that is a troll. I mean, we have no context for the analogy to know if it's an educated or intelligent guess. It's a retarded analogy. I gave you the, this is all the information. This is all the information that you need. That's it. It's a problem. If you're asked, John throws a ball at 25 miles per hour, how long does it take the ball, assuming there's no friction or anything else, assuming the ball travels, how long does it take to go 25 miles? Do you ask like, well, you didn't tell me if John was on a moving car or not. What?
Tell me. I just started turning in. I want to see if I'm a retard or not. Tell me whatever it is. This looks like a logic puzzle. Please.
Tell you, what do you want me to tell you?
Wait, is this like a thing that like you get right or wrong or no?
Yeah, the question is
okay.
Do we need to know what's under the bowl to know if John or Andy are making a good guess about what's under the bowl?
Say that again. Is there any more context to
There's
it?
There's a bowl on a table that's upside down. John and Andy are both told that there's either an apple, a grape, a banana, or an orange underneath the bowl. That's all the information they're given. John says, then they're asked to make a guess, or what do you think is under the bowl? And John says, I don't know, I can't know. It's 25% for anything. And Andy says, there's an apple. Then the question is do we need to know what's under the bowl? Do we need to flip the bowl over to see who's making a good guess or not?
Well, we would know that the person who says that they don't know is the correct person, because I think that's what you're saying. Like,
wait, what? Say that again?
If you're saying which of the two people is more correct, the person who's saying, I have no idea what's under there, obviously. And is for us to judge if they're good guessers, then...
No, the question is do we need to know the outcome of this event to know if the guess for the outcome was good or bad?
Hold on, I'm thinking, I'm sorry. Do we know that they don't know?
Yes.
Oh. Then we can say they're both dumb. Or that the guy who says it's an apple is dumb, sorry. We know that he doesn't know, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, am I retarded?
No, you got there in the end, yeah.
Well, I didn't have all the pieces. I didn't know that you didn't know that they didn't know, right? Because think about it in a different way. What about if I don't know? Sorry, let me take this step back. New scenario, okay? You got Lycan and Steve arguing over what's... I come in the room. Lycan and Steve are arguing about what's underneath the bowl. But I don't know that you guys actually don't know.
Yeah.
What about in that case? Because what about if you did know? That's a different situation. Oh my God.
Wow. Well, you probably have to gather some more information. Why did you call Dark Viper AU mentally ill in your last upload instead of debating him? Because he is mentally ill. I think I have debated him in the past, or I think I've talked to him. I don't remember, but the guy is crazy. If he wants to talk, I could. Actually, no, wait, never mind. Fuck him. I won't. I think he was on some huge explosion, like doing his yearly bitching about copyright shit. And I think I offered to debate him on it. And he's like, no, I only want to debate XQC. And I'm like, okay, well, fuck you. And then after his popularity fell off from the... Well, he didn't fall off, but after the huge surge of the copyright bitch and moaning went away, I think then he was like, okay, we can debate. I'm like, well, fuck you. No, I'm not going to talk to you now. Fuck you.
Oh, is this the guy that is suing Chud Logic or threatening to?
He might be, yeah.
You know, all these people, there's a bunch of people on the internet that threaten to sue people. And I feel like none of these people understand how ungodly expensive it is to even do things like discovery, and also how invasive and insane that process is. You can tell when they just like so quickly throw it out like it's nothing, like they're just going to go to court and put in a few dockets and I'm going to be in your Gmail account or something tomorrow. It's like such an insane process for shit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like discovery could cost a lot. It depends on what it is, of what's going on.
I've
Like,
heard
if someone
if you're doing a civil case, discovery, if you're getting to the point of like all that, doing discovery, that you're looking at around like 30 to 50,000 by that point, basically.
Well, it depends. That's if it's like it's a minor thing. Like, for instance, if someone was to sue you, actually, I mean, I don't want. Let me use a different example. If someone was to sue a very large, like, someone who has a very large amount of content online, the cost of doing discovery for that person would be very high because of the amount of resources it would take to comply with discovery, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, because you'd have to, especially like once you start doing depositions and going through all the evidence, you're gonna have to pay a law firm and all their associates however much time it takes to go through.
Usually
all
like
the fucking
hundreds of
material.
thousands of dollars, I would say.
Possibly, yeah, depending on
Sorry, I just saw a logic puzzle and I thought I would come in, but I'll let you get back to it.
Okay, I'm gonna read the Havana thing. Hopefully, love you.
Ooh, excited. Bye.
Careful. It's funny how you lambast conservatives when you are the most status quo. Authorities always tell the truth. Conservative I've ever heard in my fucking life. It's not that authorities always tell the truth. It's that I'm looking at an entity like the FDA. The FDA has to publicize a lot of their shit. It's a government entity. It's ran by the government that is elected by the people, that has a different head of state at any given point in time after elections. They can nominate new heads of all this shit, right? So I trust that process. Now, the FDA might get things wrong, of course, but I trust that process. You will look at the FDA and you'll say, like, they're about as credible as one guy on YouTube who gets paid a fuck ton of money to tell you exactly what you want to hear. If you look at these two processes as being equally likely to deliver a truthful outcome, you are fucking retarded, okay? I hope to God one day Joe Biden taxes me enough so that my tax money can pay for a permanent caretaker, so your dumbass doesn't wander off into the fucking street and get hit by a car. FDA gets paid by the institutions they regulate. Yeah, when you pay for drug approvals and shit, some of that money goes into the FDA. That doesn't mean that they pay to get the drug approved. Your gas tax, also goes to the fucking. Would that be a direct comparison? Gas tax going to states for roads to incentivize them to continue to have cars. I mean, like, there's nothing wrong with collecting fees off of people that you regulate. I don't understand why that would ever be a bad thing. If I had to guess. I should know. No, I would. Why would I know this? If I had to guess, restaurants probably pay some fee for like food inspection and shit as well. But would you say that like the FDA doesn't work because like it's also paid for partially by like restaurants and shit that pay taxes and fees for like it's fucking retarded. How do you explain the opioid crisis if the FDA is working so well? Is the opioid crisis the fault of the FDA? Yes, no, Keek. Yes, per Netflix. Oh, huh. Okay. Where do you think there are conflicts of interest? For what? Have you seen the new Factorio Space trailer? No, I'm just waiting for it to launch. Please don't ban me, but you can't pretend you're in favor of progressive taxes anymore because you left California for Florida specifically for income taxes. What is... Just because you're in favor of taxes to pay for social programs doesn't mean you donate all of your money to the government. If there's ways to minimize your tax burden, I'm gonna take it. Like, I'm in favor of taxes for wealthy people, but I also have tax-deferred retirement plans. I'm not like evading, tax evasion is legal, avoidance is legal. I'm not evading taxes. I just live in a state that has a lower tax footprint. I do other things to minimize my tax footprint as well. Like, being in favor of a progressive taxation system doesn't mean that you're obligated to pay every single fucking tax you can find, or donate extra money to the IRS. taxes for thee, not for me. I paid more in taxes last year, Francisco, than you'll probably earn income for the rest of your life. Shut the, what are you talking about? You're so fucking retarded. Nothing triggers me more than like a $27,000 a year fat fucking retard conservative scarfing down McDonald's who's gonna be consuming all my fucking tax money later on when your fat ass is dying of type 2 diabetes because you're too stupid to even take the fucking insulin, okay? Defending my right to have no taxes. Every single time I just want you to know this. Just know this deep in your soul, okay? Every time you tweet and vote for lower taxes, it's helping me and not you. If you shave 1% off my tax burden, I'm saving more money than your AGI for the year. I hope you know. I just want you to know that. You know what that means? That means that even when I'm losing, I'm winning. Even when I'm losing, I'm winning. Because if you get your way, you just continue to get fucked, and the rich guys like me continue to make even more fucking money. That's exactly what I want. Engage with the steelman argument. Is legal what is the steelman argument? Is legal offshore tax avoidance acceptable? If it's Illuminator, thanks for the 5 gifted subs, and Kose Batar, thanks for the 193 viewer hosts. I don't know what the rationale is for offshore taxable accounts. I don't know how that works or what the legal justification or more. I just don't know about it. I can't have a strong opinion about it. That's like when you say Hassan doesn't operate his business in a socialist manner. Yeah, because Hassan thinks capitalism is morally evil and that socialism is morally righteous. I'm a capitalist. I've never said anything different. What the fuck? Yes, but you believe in high taxes and government programs to help the poor. I don't believe in high taxes. I don't care about taxes as a moral thing. What I think is we need certain government programs, and then we should tax appropriately to pay for those programs. We should also tax progressively. I pay a progressive tax. I pay a lot in taxes, okay? That doesn't mean I'm obligated to move to states with the highest tax burden and pay taxes there, especially if I don't get anything out of it. You say you want high taxes, then you try to get away with low tax possible. What kind of hypocrite? I've never said okay, I will unban you from all of my shit permanently when you can send me an email where I'm saying like, we need high taxes. I've never said that in my entire life. What a fucking retarded point. You said that rich people should be taxed higher like a week ago. I believe in a progressive tax scheme. Yes, when you have brackets, do I need to explain what tax brackets are? Do you know what progressive taxation means? Your model of taxation leads to a state like California. The conservative model leads to a state like Florida. Sir, Florida and California have nothing to do. They just, one uses an income tax and the other uses another type of tax. Sales tax? If Florida uses sales tax, technically they use a progressive taxation system as well. Like, I buy more shit than a poor Cuban living in Hialeah. So technically I'm progressively taxed in Miami as well. If you look at the, as an absolute value, as a per capita of income, food isn't taxed. I don't know as much there, but. What do you think of a wealth tax? Wealth tax are retarded. Does Florida have a large tourism tax on eating out? I don't know if there's a specific tourism tax here. Florida can get away with no income tax due to the insane property tax and tourism in general. Dan said there's no property taxes here, or they're really low, so apparently that's not true. So you want high taxes, but not for yourself because you spend more money in the economy than a poor person? When have I... This is the thing. Can we just watch a Destiny YouTube video? Where didn't I explain this in a video? You're grouping the thing. You're grouping the tax with the moral thing that it's supposed to deliver on. These two things are separate, okay? I think we should have social programs, okay, that help the poor, all right? Typically, you need taxes to fund it, and progressive taxation makes sense because of the concept of marginal utility is what you would say. The concept of marginal utility. I don't think taxes are good. I think social programs are good. So we should tax whatever we need for our social programs. That's it. FICA is not progressive? No, but the federal income tax brackets are progressive. And what taxes will fund that if you move to a state to lower your own taxes? your federal income taxes, your federal income taxes are not impacted by the state that you live in. The only thing that changes are your state income taxes. The federal income tax burden, and then your self-employment, your FICA tax burden, is the same no matter where you live in the United States. Do you understand that? You can't move to another state to reduce your federal or FICA tax burden. No one said federal. Why are you? Because when you're talking about like federal programs and shit, then I think the largest programs that we have that run for welfare and shit are huge federal programs. For whatever state programs they have here in Florida, whatever taxes I pay on shit here probably funds those programs. So then you don't want to contribute to your state's social programs? I do contribute. I contributed however they collect taxes here is the way that I fucking pay them. Do you think that those who make significantly more money are morally responsible to take part in philanthropy? I don't know. If you want to, I guess. I don't think you're morally obligated to. What are the property taxes like here? I don't know. I rent apartments. You say you want a progressive taxation bracket thingy, yet you move to a state to not get taxed in said taxation bracket. Sounds pretty retarded to me. In California, you don't get anything for your taxes. I don't see where the money goes. I don't have a strong attachment to California, so I'm gonna move to a place that minimizes my tax footprint. Same thing with me contributing to SEP IRA, okay? I give money to a SEP IRA because the government has the ability for you to put money into an account to minimize your tax footprint. You can advocate for a thing and then maximize your existence within the thing, right? Like, let's say that I think that you should have to volunteer for an hour on Sundays as part of some government program. And I think that would be a good thing if we mandated that socially. If it's not mandated socially, that doesn't mean you have to do it, otherwise you're a hypocrite. There's a difference between a mandate top down from society versus an individual's acts in society. Now, there are some things that might be like clearly contradictory. So like if you were engaged in hardcore like tax evasion, that would be kind of questionable. Hold on, why are you illegally evading taxes? But as long as there are legal ways to minimize your tax footprint, you should always take advantage of those legal ways. I've never said anything different ever, and I've never condemned anybody for not doing that. Wanting to minimize your tax footprint, you don't have to pay the maximum amount of taxes to think that like a progressive taxation system is fine. The government taking 30% of my fucking money is theft, period. Well, if it makes you feel better, my dude, the fact that you type that means you're probably too retarded to earn the amount of money where they're taking 30% of your fucking money. They probably take like fucking 5%, but you're too fucking retarded to realize it. Don't you have a Q&A right now? Yeah, a guy is doing a class. I guess so. Why Florida and not a blue state that uses the tax effectively, or do those not exist? I don't know. I live in Florida because Melina wanted a place that was warm, that she could go to the beach at all the time, and was on the East Coast. So Florida was the only thing that fit because East is the time zone for the United States. Then you shouldn't criticize Hassan for not running his business in a socialist manner. You can't. I don't know how to break this. I can't break you out of this. I can't break you out of this pattern. I don't think that paying high or low taxes, I don't think that's a moral thing. There's nothing moral. That's just a thing that people do. The moral part is the social programs that we have. These should be funded. And the best way to fund those is typically a progressive taxation system. Everybody in chat, if you're advocating for a flat tax, do it. Actually, you should. I changed my mind. You're right. The conservatives won, okay? The conservatives won. I agree. Flat tax is best, okay? Fuck progressive taxation. We should do a flat tax, okay? For the record, this is the only time I'll say this. I made $2 million last year, and I paid $680,000 in taxes. If you want to cut that down and give me a 10% flat tax, I will gladly shit out $250,000 and watch you fucking losers drown, okay? If that's what you want to do, I will do that, okay? Yeah, my tax rate is huge. I get fucking raped by the federal government. I don't want to pay an extra $150,000 in taxes in fucking New York or California, okay? But if you want to do a flat tax because you think that's more fair, and you think that you and your entire family that live in cockroach-infested fucking trailer trash bullshit, that you guys can come up with the extra money to pay for your own fucking food stamps, if you want to do that, amen, brother, go for it. I want to see you making $36,000 a year, paying $3.6K to the government because you want a 10% flat tax, and I will gladly take the $500,000 in tax savings, okay? If that's what you want to do, amen, brother, go for it. You won. You won. You guys win this debate. I am in favor of the flat tax, okay? There you go. I support them 100%. I'm a flat tax guy right now, okay? Are we doing this on Zoom or Discord? If you want social programs to be funded, why not go to a state that effectively funds its taxes? Do you think Florida's social programs are well funded? I have no idea. I don't know. I live here because Melina wanted to move here. That's why I moved to Florida. Why do you operate under the assumption that everyone who supports a flat tax is a poor schmuck living off of government benefits? Isn't that an insane viewpoint? No, because it tends to be fat, type 2 diabetic, retard conservatives that support that point. Or maybe some business owners who are just like, I just want to. But I feel like once you hit a certain level of wealth, I don't know how much you're super bought into that. And I feel like I hear a lot of wealthy, rich people talk about like, yeah, we can pay more in taxes for income tax. So I don't think, at the end of the day, the reality, the true reality, but you motherfucking retards don't understand fuck all about taxes. The true reality is at the end of the day, tax brackets don't really fucking matter that much because really wealthy people tend to have their money in a whole bunch of different areas that shields them from just strict federal tax bracket liability. So your income is coming through the form of appreciation in capital in a business, appreciation in stock or other assets, money that's being diverted to other sorts of tax advantaged retirement or after death vehicles. There's a whole bunch of other ways that wealthy. So while you guys are clamoring for like flat taxes to save people that earn infinitely more than you anyway, it's not actually at the end of the day making that big of a fucking difference. But not you? No, because all of my money is straight income, and I don't have any money to dump it into a business at the moment, so I just get fucked. That's why I'm in favor of the flat tax now, because I'm getting fucked by the government, okay? Flat tax me, and we'll be good to go. That's what I want. Hello. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, doing well, except we can't really hear you. Can you hear us?
Wait, if you can't really hear me, how were you able to respond when I asked how you were doing?
Well, because I can hear you, just sound really far away.
Well, I mean, technically, I am really far away. That's the beauty of the
It's
internet.
an audio problem on our end.
Okay, you're fine.
But you can hear us okay?
I can hear you okay, yeah.
Uh-oh.
Blue states need to pay high taxes to subsidize the red states. If blue states are subsidizing red states through federal taxation, the state taxes shouldn't be impacting that. That won't have an impact. As much as I'll be shown on red states for being welfare queens. Hi, what's up? Is it working?
Sorry, Steven. Give me 1 minute.
Okay. Not calling you a hypocrite because I don't think you are one. However, if someone says the government should make people work 1 hour in soup kitchens, yet they don't do anything, aren't they a hypocrite? Not necessarily, no. Advocating for a government policy because you think top down if everybody's bought into doing something, but if it's not there, then there's no point. It doesn't necessarily make you a hypocrite. It's like saying that like, if 10 of us get together, we can pick this car up and like move it across the street. And there's like 2 people that are advocating for that and the other 8 don't want to. And the 8 look at the 2 people like, why aren't you guys trying to move it? It's like, we can't move it on our own. We're not, this isn't like solving the problem. Then why do you shit on Hassan for doing the same thing? Because Hassan says that capitalism and the participation in capitalism is inherently immoral. I don't believe that.
Can you try again?
Hi, can you hear me? Hello, hello?
Nope, no, we can't hear you at all.
Oh, nice.
Let's try it again.
No offense, but it seems like you have a convenient explanation for everything. Yeah, I have an explanation for everything I do because I'm 35 years old. I've been on the internet for 15 years. Oh, I'm screaming from this class. Yes, because I've been doing this for a long time. Of course I've got an explanation for everything I do. You think I just do... Wait, he can't hear me, can he? Oh, hey, hello?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wait, you didn't just hear me screaming, did you?
No.
Oh, okay, I wasn't screaming. I was kidding. Okay.
No, we could see you being a little animated, but
You're good. Don't worry about it.